Welcome to Tea Outdoors. In this episode I'm going to be hiking a number of miles on one of the hottest days of the year. I have no tent, no tarp, no shelter above my head, and just a 24-hour military ration pack to get me through. Hope you enjoy the episode. This is a mature Douglas fir tree. You can just about see the blisters on there, but these aren't as usable as the kind of younger ones where there's blisters all over them. As they get older, the bark gets a lot more fissured, and you can start to see the orange corkiness to it underneath, and that's what makes it fairly distinctive. The other thing is this. So the cone is quite scaly. It's very similar to a lot of spruce and things like that, but the distinctive feature is this. It's like a snake's tongue coming up out of the scales, and that's what makes Douglas fir quite unique compared to a lot of the other conifer species. You can see the orange fissures just there, and it looks almost like cork. This one has a lot more blisters. It's slightly younger, and you can see them there, and these are packed full of resin. You can either sharpen a stick and puncture them, or you can use your knife and you can get the resin out of them that way. You can see that the forest has been clear felled here, except a few large mature pine trees. The rest of it is really dense small stuff, and that's because it's forested for its resources for the wood. And what they do is, once they've felled it, they begin to replant new saplings to replace those that have been felled, and it will be on a rotation. It might be 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, depending on the yield of the type of the wood and the size of the wood that they want. Now this is, I think, over 300, maybe 300 acres or 300 hectares, I can't remember. It's a fairly large site. They plant them in ridges. You can see they're in a line here. Pine tree, pine tree, pine tree, and they go all the way along there. They always overplant because you're going to lose some to droughts, dry summers. You're going to lose some to deer browsing on them. So they'll always overplant, knowing that they're going to lose quite a few, and they'll still get enough that will grow through, fight for the light, and give them the resources that they need. Big old tower. Time to stop for a quick bit of food. So this is how the soldier ration pack comes. This is type C. We've got a menu of everything that's in here. So there's 15 items overall. It does say water required for the preparation of meals and beverages, but there's a good mixture of energy stuff, snacks, main meals, and kind of puddings and things like that. So let's take a quick look at what is in the ration pack. So there's pasta, porcini, muesli, then you've got the beans and vegetable medley, and that has a chemical heater in it, which is really handy. Knife, fork, cutlery, dried kind of bread, crispy bread, jam, mackerel, isotonic drinks, 2 energy drinks there, cinnamon cake, a fruit bar, some coffee, sugar, and some alcohol wipes. So a good spread for 24 hours. All last nicely, plenty of calories there. That will probably be the first thing that I tuck into, is the bread and jam. So I'm about 1.5 miles into my hike, and I found this small pond. Plenty of wildlife here, but it's the plants that I'm interested in. Normally, this time of year, peak summer, there's going to be some water mint growing up, and if I can get some, it makes a really nice tea. It's packed full of vitamins, really good for your immune system, and it helps with digestion, and especially where I've got the MREs, which are known to constipate you, the water mint plant would be great to find to help alleviate some of those after effects, if you know what I mean. Pretty little pond though. I'm gonna head off the track now, a bit deeper into the woods, try and find somewhere to stop for food and potentially a sleeping area. Right, I've been walking for a couple of hours now. Going to take a break, get some lunch, and I'm going to use the chemical heater one for lunch because it's easier, it's faster than getting a fire going. It's also peak time in the day. I'm going to wait till later this evening to get the fire going to cook the other rations. Beans and vegetables medley. Never tried it. Slovenian one, so it should be interesting. There's the fill line. It's very much similar to the US ones that I've used. These can also be consumed cold, so you actually don't even need to heat them up. Obviously they taste nicer when they're heated up, but you can eat them cold. I've shown this plenty of times before in my channel. Chemical heater pad, just there. Once that gets wet, that's going to let off tons of heat. You don't want to get that on your hands when you get the water in. There's the fill line. It says fill line up to here. What I tend to do is get the ration in nice and early, because you don't want to be doing this while it's hot. Flatten it out. Squish it out, then I fold it over, get the water on that ration, on that chemical heater below it, leave it, here we go, whoa, I can hear it bubbling, it's steaming, wow, I've never had a chemical one heat steam like that, that is insane, that is definitely different to the US one. Wow, that is incredible. Ooh, that's really hot. That's amazing. It's actually steaming. Look at it going still. I'm amazed. I don't know why, but that is so much. You look at the air where it's expanded. That is so much. That's the hottest chemical heater I've ever used. Right, I think we're good. That is now super warm. Actually tastes quite healthy. Doesn't feel like there's as much additives in this one than the other ones I've tried. So there's about 350 calories in this, I think. Right, got another mile and a bit to go before I get to the area that I think I'm going to go and set up camp at. Before I do, I'm going to fill up my water bottle with the isotonic lemon flavoured drink. Oh, they're so refreshing, these. Really like them. Right, let's go. Sun's starting to set. Time to look for a camp spot, I think. Pretty dense in there. Right, I think I've found somewhere. There's this little clearing. It's really dense in the woods back there. And quite dark. But here, there's a nice little clearing. This is what's the other side of me. I've got lots of cover from the fern, the bracken there, which is great. And that's probably west because it's brightest over there. Loads of bugs though, time to get some more bug spray on. It's my bug pouch. A few things that I keep in here. We've got some smidge, some Nordic Summer, which is like a balm. That's made from, I think, pine pitch or something, pine tar. Citronella candles, picaridin insect repellent. This is really good as well. That's what we want, that red resinous area. It's a bit of fat wood, and that's what I need. It's always found on the knots as it joins the tree. It's generally on broken branches, because that's where it tries to heal the wounds and stop infection getting into the tree more, so it puts a lot of sap and fat wood. We call it fat wood, but all the sap and resin, sorry, goes down into that area to protect it. I've had to switch areas, that there was just way too many bugs. I found this little patch here, a little bit more light, much less dense of an area of woodland, a bit more airflow. The bugs were horrendous in that spot. I got to the point where I was just about to start the fire, which I need. Luckily it's still damp. This peat is still wet, which is ideal. So I'm just going to clear this little patch. I don't need a fire for light and I don't need it for warmth. So if we just get down to the wet stuff here. As well as finding this fat wood, I found a big chunk of birch bark. It's really old, this piece, and it's pretty rotten, but the top is absolutely fine to get a little dust pile. I'm just going to take some small chunks of this fat wood off as well, the kind of red orangey parts in there, and they will help it burn for a much longer time because these dust piles don't last long with birch bark. I also need to make this smaller so that it fits in the firebox itself. Forgot to mention one more piece of kit that I didn't show in the fire lay because it's already around me, and that is my fire starting necklace. Totally forgot when I showed you in the fire lay, in the flat lay of all my stuff that I brought with me. This is how I'm going to light my fire. Almost boiling. Add that to this pasta porcini. See what it tastes like. Getting dark now though. Doesn't look it on the camera, but it definitely is. I'm hungry. There's a lot of hiking done today. Now it says close the pouch and leave for 10 minutes. These bivvy bags are great because they just keep your mat totally enclosed. I really like them. One of my summer sleeping bags, super lightweight. Chuck that in too. Time to try the pasta. That's really good. Wow. That's up there with one of the best MREs I've had. It's by Travel Lunch Aqua Plus lightweight food. That is amazing. It's phenomenal, and there's loads in here as well. Wow. Yep, that's up there with the best MRE I've ever had. Slovenian, did I say? That pasta is brilliant. Need some water now. It's still really mild. I have got a jumper, which I didn't show in the kit bit at the beginning, but it's just a hoodie and obviously a camera bag. It's a little small bag for my cameras is much needed. I don't really need this bivvy bag, but just in case it rains tonight. Alright, it's coming up 10 PM. I'm absolutely shattered. Must have done a good few miles of hiking today. Very pleased with that ration pack so far. I've got some things in it for breakfast too, which is good. It's such a still night. Right, I'm going to go to sleep, guys. I'll catch you in the morning. Good morning. This is a nice view, look at this. That's what I woke up to this morning. Woke up lots, as you'd expect. Anything with not having a tent is obviously it's really light in the mornings. So I've been up and then I've fallen asleep and then I've been up and then, yeah, very light. We've got some muesli. I'm not going to have the mackerel, because I don't really want it for breakfast. I'm not actually that hungry. I'm going to try the cinnamon cake. I remember this being very dry on the British ration pack. And the fruit bar. This is what they look like. Literally a cake. Very dense. Very dry. Right, let's go for the fruit bar. Oh man. That's actually really nice. Right, I'm going to get back to the car. Thanks so much for watching. Really appreciate it. And if you're interested in watching similar videos like this and other camping episodes, I'll put a link in the description box below. But for now, thank you, and I'll see you in the next episode.